Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and welcome to my June TBR video. We are going to be throwing darts in a second, but first I have to confess my crimes because, first of all, our last TBR video was for April. We did prompts for April, but then I had escaped the readathon and had a bunch of stuff that I needed to get to in May. So I just didn't escape the readathon TBR for May. So it gave me 2 months to read stuff for the April prompts. Can you imagine how it went? Can you imagine how it went? So we are 100% having a punishment in this video, so stick around for that. We will be spinning the wheel and seeing which book that I don't want to read that we're going to be reading. And just in case I DNF something, I will spin for a backup book, because if I DNF 2 books that I've been thinking about unhauling, to me that counts as a win. So that is kind of how that's gonna work. But anyway, if you've never been to one of my TBRs, I will be throwing darts at a board. I have made my own point system up just because there's way too many points on a dartboard. I have simplified it to 1 point, 2 point, or 3 pointers, and depending on how many points I get, is the difficulty of the prompt. So a 3-point prompt will obviously be a lot more difficult than a 1-point prompt, and also the rewards and the stakes are significantly higher. So let's talk about what we did for last 2 months. I almost said last month, but no, it's 2 months. It's 2 months. So we did an absolutely fantastic job of actually throwing darts last time. Again, if you are new here to this game, I would watch the first video and the second video, just because the first video obviously goes over the basic rules, and then I did tweak some stuff in the second one. But if I miss the board, it's an automatic 1 plus an extra throw. But I only had to throw 5 times, which is our basic number. And yeah, I got a 3, and then the rest were 2, so we had no 1 prompts last time. But anyway, to refresh your memory, we had read a classic, gothic, animal companion, lit fiction book, and a book from the first Bookstagram video that I see. Out of those 5 prompts, I completed 2. Completed 2. So failed read a classic. Are we surprised? Are we at all surprised that I failed that one? Then I failed reading a gothic, which is actually insane. I was tempted to count Morsel as like a southern gothic, but I don't think Morsel counts as gothic, so I left it out. And then I ended up counting it for Animal Companion. So for Animal Companion, we did read Morsel, but also The Bone Shard Daughter would also count for that one. And then I did read a lit fiction book. I read The Future Saints. So that was a good one. I was a little nervous for that one. And then a book from the first Bookstagram video that I see, I believe it was the second book after First Time Caller. I never remember what the second one is called. And Now Back to You. I believe it was in Now Back to You, and I did not read it. I did not read it. So we failed a 3-pointer, we failed a 2-pointer, and we failed a 2-pointer. So I do believe that is going to trigger us spinning the bad wheel. The bad wheel. I also updated this. Do you guys remember this really ugly chart? You remember this really ugly chart? Bam! Look at how cute that is. And I got little cute stickers. Look at this. So I did update it, so everything from before is on there. So because we are going to be triggering some stuff in this video, if I get 10 points, I get to basically erase one of the prompts and get a free pick instead of that prompt for the same point value. And then if I accumulate 10 failed points, I have to spin the Wheel of No Appeal, which used to be one of my series. I would love to bring it back, but it was a very stressful series. It was a very short-lived, very stressful series. So we have to spin the Wheel of No Appeal. So let's see where we're at. So let me add the little stickers, and I'll be right back. Right, yeah, we did trigger it. Barely. It was barely triggered it. We actually got 11 points, so it was very close. So anyway, we have our little updated chart. We actually have 9 stickers over in the finish pile, and we have 11 over here. So when I remove these, I will leave one on here because it carries over. 10 points is pretty easy to get, so I think next time I am going to adjust it to 20. I wish I'd thought about that before doing this. So next time, I think I will adjust them up to 20. That way it's a little bit less often that I'm probably spinning the Wheel of No Appeal. So we have our little prompt trigger. Look how cute these are. They're literally so cute. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel so we get this out of the way. And it does not count as one of our 5 books that we have to read. It is an extra book. So here is the Wheel of No Appeal. All of these books are books that were in that video from forever ago that I said I was potentially going to DNF. And then I was like, I'll do a try a chapter. And then I never did a try a chapter. Those have all been added to this wheel. The point of this wheel is to figure out if I want to actually read them or not. So we are going to spin 2 just in case I DNF 1. And like I said, if I DNF the second one as well, it's 2 books that I've gotten rid of out of my house. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to force myself to read something that I'm not liking. Books on here, we have We Hunt the Flame, Mad Honey, Eruption, Girl Serpent Thorn, The Jasmine Throne, Lavender House, Hunterland, my handwriting is terrible, The Perfect Marriage, Set Fire to the Gods, Stain, The Invisible Library, House of Dragons, Super Adjacent, a broken blade. I almost said we hunt the flame again. So that is what we have on here. There's nothing that is good on here. Like, there's really nothing. I think the easiest would be The Perfect Marriage. That way I could just listen to that one on audiobook while I'm doing stuff around the house. I think that would be easy, and I could read that and not have to use whatever the backup ends up being. So I do think The Perfect Marriage is the best choice, but the odds of getting that, not super high. Oh, what is that? We Hunt the Flame. That book is massive. Okay, I forgot we have to do one more. Okay, so We Hunt the Flame is actually a book that I have soft DNF'd before. I've read 100 pages of it and I did not like it, but I didn't get rid of it because everyone else seems to really like the book. Although as time has gone on, I've seen more and more people complain about the duology. So yeah, so that one seems like a very heavy chance of DNFing, which is actually really good because I also have the second book, We Free the Stars. So that would be 2 books that are actually out of my house. So that would be really nice. But just in case, we'll do a backup. Stain. Oh, okay. I've had Stain for a very long time. It's also another chunky book. So we'll be trying to read some of that this month. That will actually be a members only vlog for Scholomance. Obviously, if I DNF or read them, you will see them in the wrap up. Let's move on to actually throwing darts. I still haven't updated prompts, so we are still hoping not to get that many 3-pointers. That's actually what I'm working on this month, is coming up with more prompts. So if you have any fun prompts that you want to suggest, I definitely put them down below and I can kind of like assign them points. Yeah, let's throw some darts and actually see what we're reading. Fingers crossed there are a couple 1-pointers just for some easy genre prompts. Oh, and I totally forgot. I am going to be trying to pick LGBTQ plus books for this month because it is June, it is Pride Month. If there's an option for the book to be LGBTQ plus, I will default to that pick. Obviously, if I pick something and it's not an option, we'll just pick whatever I want to read at that point. But we're going to try doing that. Hopefully, I have a lot of really, really good options. So anyway, let's go throw some darts at the board. Fortunately, we are kind of moving some stuff around and figuring out some difficulties because we actually broke the thing that the dartboard was on. It wasn't put together very well. We had it on like this trellis and the wood was very old and it was cracked already. So Lucas did like a fantastic job of salvaging it and putting it together. But unfortunately the wood it was rotted on the inside. And so I finished my last TBR video, so my last dart video. The trellis literally fell over, I think about 5 minutes after the video ended. So I was like, thank goodness. That's also the reason that I didn't really do a dart video for May, because we've been trying to figure out what to do. So we are going to still try and see if I can do something outside, but we're going to have it in here for now. So this is going to look a little janky, okay? This is going to look a little bit funny. We're not going to have both of the really cool angles for this video. Just for this one, we're figuring out lighting and stuff for the next one. So it's not going to be the most fun. I do think I'm going to just go ahead and zoom in on the board, because I do think that's more interesting than watching me throw like an idiot. I'm gonna zoom up on the board and then we'll talk about them as they happen. I think that's what we're gonna do for this video, but in the future videos, it will look a little more similar to what we had done in the previous videos with me in the corner and the dartboard big. So let's throw some darts. Hopefully we only have to throw 5, because if I miss and I hit the door, I'm going to be very mad. I'm going to be very, very mad, because I'm like, I'm not going to miss the door. I've gotten so much better at throwing these darts. Fingers crossed we do not hit the door, which, what, if we hit the door, oh well. So for 1-pointers, we're aiming for anything here. 2-pointers, anything here, and then anything that is in these small ones, that's 3 points. And we somehow managed to get one last time. I still don't know how that happened, but we're trying to avoid that. We're trying to avoid the 3-pointers. I just want some easy prompts. So honestly, anything 1 and anything 2, but I'm gonna try to aim kind of in this area, and we'll see if I can actually hit that area. So let's start throwing some darts. Okay, so that's kind of what I was hoping for. For some reason, I always aim to the right. So we have a nice 1-pointer. So hopefully it's just a genre pick. We're still good. That's 2 points. I'm happy with that. Ah, shit. That's a 3. That's a 3. That's a 3. When I want to hit a 3, I can't hit a 3. When I don't want to hit a 3, we hit a 3. So hopefully no more. We cannot afford another 3, okay? That is a 2-pointer, and we only have 1 dart left. Thank goodness we have not missed the board yet. And another 2. Okay, so we're represented through all the points. We have 1 3-pointer, one pointer, and 3 2-pointers. So let's go see what our prompts are. I think we're just gonna go in order and pick the 1-pointer and then pick the 2-pointers and then pick the 3-pointers. If I pick the same one that I picked last month, I can repick, which I probably will do because I think it's more fun that way. So we have our little 1-point deck right here. So we get to pick one of these. Again, I'm hoping for a genre. I hope it's just fantasy because it's just really easy. All my books are fantasy and this will fit like everything. Also, Taz is with us. He's not like super happy with being up here. A horror book. Okay. I'm totally down with that. Like, I'm totally okay with a horror book. I am in such a reading slump for fantasy right now that I actually was contemplating doing something with horror books. Now I just gotta find a horror book that matches, hopefully, LGBTQ+. I've read a lot of mine, so I don't know how many that I have left. The thing about my horror selection is I'm very, very picky about horror, and I tend to read my horror books as I get them. So this might be a little more difficult than I think, but I have plenty of horror books, but I want to make it LGBTQ+. So let's see if I have one of those. If not, I'll come back with a different horror book. We have Hunger Stone. I feel like this is a perfect LGBTQ+ rep horror book. This is like a Carmilla-esque type of retelling. So I think this is going to work really, really well. I definitely am feeling horror right now. I'm feeling vampire horror stories. So I think this could be a really, really perfect one for this prompt. Also for horror that I don't think has LGBTQ+ rep, but I really want to read this month is Our Sister's Keeper. This is actually one of the books that I got in Aardvark from Aardvark when they curated me this box. This one sounds so good. It's very creepy horror, but it's focusing on like women in horror, which I always love. And this is such an eye-catching, stunning cover. And so I kind of just like really want to know what this is about because it sounds really creepy, but it also is very cryptic in what it's kind of talking about. So I'm not 100% sure what is happening in this book. So I think this is also a good option for horror. 2-point prompts. We actually have 3 to pick from. I love how I looked at the back, so let me reshuffle it. I didn't see what they were, but just so you guys know I'm not cheating. Just so you know. With how much I failed last month, you guys should know I haven't been cheating. Unfortunately, I should cheat. You know, I should. I'd be doing a lot better if I was cheating. So we're just gonna pick this one up the top. A recommended book. Okay, this is perfect. My friends Alyssa and Amy are constantly recommending me books, so this should be easy. Again, we will try with an LGBTQ+, but this one might be a little bit harder because I'm going based off of stuff they've recommended me in the past. So I need to look at that. So this may not be LGBTQ+, but I do think I have some cool recommended books. I don't think either of these have LGBTQ+ rep in them. This is a prompt that's a little bit more difficult because it's kind of like I'm doing this for this video. So I'm trying to go off of recs that I've had like in the past. So they specifically weren't looking for LGBTQ+ rep. I am gonna adjust this one probably throughout the month to try to make it more LGBTQ+ friendly. But for right now, what we have is a placeholder, because again, if I read either one of these, they will count, even though I don't think they have rep in it. They Wish They Were Us. This is actually a recommendation from one of my friends, Alyssa. This has been on a couple TBRs. I just keep putting it off and I don't know why, but I love Jessica Goodman. I really like their writing style. They're just fun young adult books. So I think this would work really, really well. Alyssa's a big fan of this author and she knows that I enjoy her as well. So she said, read this one. Now my mom is actually caught up in this whole series. So she said to read A Curious Beginning. I know she loves the series. She keeps buying the books and then giving them to me, hoping that I'll read them. I think this one would work really well for this prompt just because this has been recommended to me many, many times, including the entire series. So not just this one book. So this is a recommendation from my mother. Another 2-point prompt. We got 2 left. Nature horror. We have picked this one before, but not in the last one. We did pick nature horror, right? Oh, Morsel would have been perfect. Oh, this would have been perfect for Morsel. I guess I'll leave it because I didn't pull it last month. Oh, okay. So nature horror. We have another horror. Apparently this is gonna be a big horror themed June, so maybe we just should do a reading vlog for horror books. I actually pulled 2 for this one. One is LGBTQ+, and then the other one, I don't know if it is. That's the problem with a lot of these books, and what I realized when I was looking through all this stuff is, yeah, it's really hard to pick something when you don't necessarily know what the side characters are doing either. Like, I feel like figuring out what the main character's romantic interest, etc. is easier, but there's a lot of books where side characters have a very prominent LGBTQ+ role in the story. And so that's where it got a little bit tricky to try and find something. So I tried to be really obvious with some of my choices, and then I'm kind of like keeping my fingers crossed that some of the other choices work, or it's just what I'm interested in reading right now. So I did pull When Devils Sing, and this just sounds really good. This is like Southern Gothic horror. It's taking place in Carrion, Georgia. Every 13 summers, people disappear in Carrion, Georgia. So I think this fits that type of feeling of nature horror, but it's also going to feel like Gothic, Southern Gothic horror as well. I'm curious if this one actually works or it's going to feel more Southern Gothic, but I do believe it's got a nature theme to it with, I mean, look at all the stuff that's happening in this. But this one sounds really, really fun, but I don't know if it's LGBTQ+. Yeah, it says a true blood-soaked Southern Gothic for the modern ages. This would have been a good one to read for Gothic. Could have read it last month. Don't know if this is LGBTQ+, but oftentimes there are themes of that, because when you have something in a Southern Gothic, oftentimes there are themes of religion and oppression. So generally one of the characters does have an LGBTQ+ background hidden from characters because they're afraid of what the area is going to think of them. That possibly could count. I don't know if that is the case in the book, but as my other book that I've had for a while, but I haven't read it, I'm afraid of being emotionally destroyed by it, is Don't Let the Forest In. This definitely fits nature horror with an LGBTQ+ storyline in it. So I think this will probably be the one that will end up counting. This will end up working the best, but I did want to back up just in case this one is too emotional for me at the time. And our last 2-point prompt, let's go for one of, ooh, Taz, please don't. Please don't. Let's go for one of the ones on the bottom. A litfic. Okay, we had litfic last month, so I am going to put this one aside and we're going to pick another one. I still want to go for one towards the bottom. Dystopian. Do I have a dystopian? This one might be hard too. Again, I read my dystopians when I get them, so this one might not be an LGBTQ+ option. However, we are gonna go check. Dystopian definitely was a troublemaker trying to find something. I did just pick 2 dystopians that I'm interested in. I don't know if either of them have LGBTQ+ rep. However, these are 2 dystopians I do want to read, and we have The Verdant Cage, which is a newer release. I've heard some interesting things about this one. And then we also have Beneath, which I will be reading in June. Like 100% will be reading this one, so it will fit dystopian. I just, again, I don't think this has a prominent LGBTQ+ storyline in it, because I don't remember one being one in Conform, so that makes me think that there potentially is not going to be one in this one either. However, this will count towards the dystopian prompt. And our final one, which is 3 points. I only have 4 cards because I haven't printed more of these out yet. This ink kills my printer. Like, it absolutely kills my printer. So I don't remember what these are, but none of them are nice. Like, none of them are nice choices. But at least I can put classic back. What is this? Least anticipated on TBR. Okay. We can spin this to least anticipated that includes LGBTQ+ rep. We can do that. I think we can make something out of this one. So this one's an interesting one because I've had it for a really, really, really long time, and I never pull it to like go in an unhaul, because anytime I think about it, I'm like, oh no, like actually I'm really interested in this one, but it's still on my TBR, it's still on my prominent TBR, it's on my TBR shelves, and I do think it has a rep in it, and it's The Improbable Magic for Cynical Witches. Now, I have a couple others that would fit this prompt, but this is like, I saw it and I was immediately like, yes, this one, because it's one of the older ones on my shelves that I have not read. I got it from one of the very first, I think I got it from, oh, what book box? Unplugged? This might have been an early Unplugged book box that I got, but I just never picked it up, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like just more on the cozy side, so I just never got around to it. But I've had this one for a really long time. Like, books have come and gone around this one, and I still just have not picked this one up to do anything with. Not to get rid of it, not to read it, nothing. It has just sat there, and I just don't think about it until I see it, and then I'm like, oh wait, I do actually want to read that one. So I would put this at least anticipated just because I just forget about it all the time, and I do think it has rep in it. I need to double check that, but I think this one works really well for this prompt. I have a couple more. This one was the epitome of this prompt in my head. So that brings us to the end of this video. I did end up pulling our main Wheel of No Appeal spin, and that is We Hunt the Flame. I don't feel good about it, guys. Like, I cringed when I picked this up, and I forgot this is by Hafsa Faisal, who is someone that I've DNF'd books from before. I am thinking that we are officially potentially going to get rid of this duology, which is, I mean, it's a lot of space on my TBR. It's gonna be good. It's just one of those things that's like, I've had this book for so long, and part of me just like desperately wants to like it, so I'm just so unwilling to part with it. So this is the point of this. The point of this is I need to actually try and read this to decide if I want to get rid of it or not. We Hunt the Flame, plus all these other books that we talked about. Obviously, I don't tend to stick to a TBR, but this is a good idea of what I want to try to read. The hope is that I at least read like 2 of the books that I showed you, but hopefully count some other ones and actually do all of these prompts. Like, I would love to actually do all of these prompts, which is a struggle for me, obviously, from how badly the last 2 months went. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a... Is there a bow and arrow emoji? Is that a thing? Leave a target or a bow and arrow or a dart or something having to do with this, or even the dartboard down below if you made it this far into the video. Definitely make sure to check out my member subscription if you're interested. We do extra bonus content over there, which will include a vlog either DNFing or actually reading this book. I'm very excited about that, very nervous. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to miss any future content. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.